guys, it's Kaylin and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, we just posted, like maybe 2 weeks ago, we posted a pregnancy announcement video, and I posted my how we found out I was pregnant video. I'll link those both in the bottom bar. And if you follow me on Instagram, or we're friends on Facebook, or you follow my blog page on Facebook, you will know that we did miscarry. It's been a week and a few days, and I was 11 weeks pregnant when we did miscarry. So yeah, those are kind of my facts. But I did just kind of want to share my story, and I will give a disclaimer, this might be a little graphic for some people. So if you're not into that kind of stuff, or you don't want to hear about it, just go ahead and click out of this video. I will have other videos coming in the future, but I did want to get this video up before we're headed on vacation for a little while, so I wanted to make sure that I did get this up. I just want to share our story in case it helps somebody else or it impacts somebody else. That would be worth it. So let's try and get through this video without sobbing. So we had traveled down to Phoenix one weekend because I was doing cupcakes for one of my friend's wedding. So we drove about 3.5 hours. It's about 3.5-4 hours away from us. And so we drove down there Friday night. So Saturday night I kind of spotted a little bit, and not anything to be worried about, but I was definitely okay, that's the first time I've spotted my whole pregnancy thus far. And so I was almost 11 weeks at that point. And so I know they say some spotting is normal, some cramping is normal, yada yada. So Sunday rolls around, Sunday morning, I go to the bathroom and I did pass a small little clot. And I had texted my friend who actually works in labor and delivery at my local hospital. Shout out to you, Shirley, you're the real MVP. And she just told me, maybe you should call the on-call doctor. She told me if it didn't stop, I'm actually really not totally sure what her exact words were, but I know she said that maybe I should go to the hospital. And Sunday was the day I was still doing the cupcakes. So I'm like, well, I can't do anything until later this afternoon because I was setting up cupcakes for my friend's wedding. So I continued to spot the rest of that day and called the on-call doctor, and she said, as long as I'm not filling a pad an hour, I don't need to come in. Okay, fine. Definitely wasn't having that happen. And so I knew, if anything, if I was going to go to the emergency room, I wanted to go to my local hospital and not somewhere 3.5-4 hours away. That just wasn't something I wanted to do. So Sunday, we get done with the cupcakes, we pack up everything, and we drive home. And I went to bed. So at this point, I started cramping, but again, I guess it just wasn't anything that I was like, okay, that's out of the ordinary, which, looking back on it, maybe I should have thought that, but regardless. So Monday, it's Monday morning at maybe 4 in the morning, and I'm in pain. I have really, really bad heavy cycles, and this felt like a cycle cramp. It was bad, but I still didn't want to go to the emergency room. I was trying to hold out until my doctor's office opened at 8, and also our emergency room is a 45-minute drive away. And so I was just trying so hard to hold off. And so maybe about 4:15, 4:30, I kept going to the bathroom to just check, like, am I bleeding? Am I bleeding? Well, one time I got up and I still wasn't, and I laid back down and I just felt a rush of liquid. And so I'm like, oh, okay, this is definitely happening. So I went to the bathroom and I still decided to lay in bed for a little bit longer, try and see if my doctor's office, I don't know, I thought maybe if I got some sleep or something. And looking back, I'm really happy that we waited, because had we not, this next part would have happened all in the car, and we just bought our car. And I know that sounds like so ridiculous, and like, how would I even be thinking of that? And I thought about it a few days later, like not in the moment, but yeah. So then I lay back down, and whatever compelled me, I got up to go to the bathroom, and it was my entire contents of my inside was just bleeding out of me, essentially. I called my husband into the bathroom, and I was kind of like holding my pants. I was kind of holding everything in, as gross as that sounds. And he's like, you just need to sit down, like sit down on the toilet. And so, so at that point, sit down, everything passes, if you will. And I guess I was just really naive, and I think I'm gonna do either a blog post about this or a separate video, but like, I wish I would have known certain things happened during a miscarriage, because I, like, still to this day am just traumatized by how much blood there was, honestly. And I watched other videos and they're like, oh, I bled. And I'm like, you bled? Because I felt like I was like birthing the Red Sea. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, I bled, cute, ha. No, like, I was not expecting that much to come out of me. And so at that point we said, okay, we need to go to the emergency room. Got our daughter up, got her in the car, make the drive over there. And when we were getting there, I'm like, you're gonna have to go get me a wheelchair. Like, I can't walk into the emergency room because I'm just like profusely leaking. And I look back and wonder, should I have gone to the emergency room? Should I have just stayed at home? But like, the amount of blood I was losing was just scaring me. And I guess it's because I didn't know. But we get to the hospital. Thankfully, I go right back into a room, and I just bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed and bleed and clot and clot and clot. And we're there for almost 12 hours. Well, right when I got there, I guess I should rewind. Right when I got there, they had the ultrasound tech come in and do an ultrasound. And he's like, I don't see a pregnancy. And I'm like, or he said, I don't see a viable pregnancy. And I said, do you see a baby at all? Do you see anything? And he said, no, I think you've already passed it all. So that is what I passed at home before I went to the emergency room. And then, as soon as they were about to discharge me, was like, okay, I'm gonna pass out, like, and they said, yeah, your blood pressure is really, really low. So yeah, I didn't get discharged after that for a little while, and essentially just waited until my bleeding slowed down, and told me to get with my doctor in a few days and do a checkup. I guess there's not like some huge story to mine or anything, but a lot of them I see like, oh, we went in for a checkup and there was no heartbeat or this or that, and that's just not what happened with us. I passed everything at home, and it was totally traumatizing and heartbreaking and scary. And I mean, if you know our story, you know that we tried for a really, really long time for this baby. And I know can't even talk. I know that our time for a baby will come, and I'm confident in God's timing. As crappy as it is sometimes, you know, it wasn't right, and it wasn't the time, and that's okay, and it hurts, but that is essentially our miscarriage story. I honestly don't even remember everything I just said, but I've been a wreck, if you can't tell. That's why I look ratchet. I have been back to work, which is good. I took about a week off and just let my body heal and rest, and oh my gosh, the cramps afterwards were so bad. That's the other thing I wish I would have known. Oh, the cramps. I hope this was helpful to somebody, or if you wanted some insight on what happened with us. I hope I'm not missing any parts or leaving anything out. And like I said, this video is TMI to the max, but if you're watching it, I warned you, so that's on you. But yeah, I hope somebody got something out of this video, and and I will talk to you in my next video.